everyone, it's Ashley with Going Crochet, and here's Tracker because of course I can't get through one video without him joining in lately. But we are here to share with you guys 8 free patterns from Instagram that are all food related crochet patterns. So I haven't brought you guys a free pattern review for quite a while now. It's been at least a couple months, if not longer. And so I figured it was time to compile a bunch of patterns and share them with you guys, because that's one thing I really love to do, is share free patterns with all of you so you can go try your own today if you want to. So all of these patterns are from Instagram. I do plan to do some from like Pinterest or something like that, but I just haven't gotten around to checking out Pinterest. So if you guys do have some specific patterns you'd like me to try out from Pinterest, let me know down below in the comments, and I can add that to my list of patterns to create for you guys so you can see how they turn out before you take the time to waste your material and time in doing it. I can do that for you. Now we're gonna get right into things, and I'm going to start these patterns from the smallest all the way up to the biggest items of how they ended up being made at the end. It doesn't necessarily mean this is the order that I made them in or the order of my favorite least favorites. This is just the sizing that I'm going to show you so that the biggest ones end up being the last. Ready to go? You ready? Yeah, are you ready? Yeah, okay. So pattern number 1 is the No Sew Macaron by the Squishy Witch. Now, how do you guys pronounce it? Macaroon or macaron? I know there's 2 different kinds. I think this is a macaron, where the macaroon is more of like the coconut nut treat. You guys let me know down below as well if I'm pronouncing this one right. But I'm pretty sure this one is a macaron. This is actually one of Owen's favorite treats, and he always asks for them for his birthday because he knows they're really special. And so I had to make one of these when I saw the pattern, because it was basically for him. When he saw it, he got really excited that I had made one, and he wanted me to make like a whole box of them for him. But this is the macaron I made, and it was really simple. I mean, it took no time, very much scrap yarn friendly. So if you want to do some scrap busting, you could make a whole ton of these little macarons and throw them in a box for a display. I think would be really cute. All different colors and flavors. And I had no issues with this pattern. Very quick to make, as I said, and it's really cute. So there you go. Pattern number 1. Probably took me like 10-15 minutes, if that. Pattern number 2 is the Toasty Bread by One Curious Donut. I think this is just so adorable. I don't know, there's just something about this little guy that makes me happy. So he has like those Jellycat inspired feet, just a cute little face. So you make 2 slices of bread and crochet them together, and then you sew the feet on to the body afterwards. And I just think it is so adorable. Owen also saw this and said he wants me to make 2 separate slices of bread with like lettuce, ham, cheese. He wants me to make him a sandwich that he can put together and take apart on his own. And so that might be something I have to work on down the line. I told him I would, but I thought this was really sweet. This also comes with a hat option if you want it. I didn't want it. And then it also comes with this butter option. I made the butter just because it was part of the pattern, but I didn't really know where to place it or if I liked the butter. I kind of just like it with the bread. So I did not sew it on, but it does come with this little butter. Maybe I can put it in the back or something, but it does have that option. I just chose to keep mine off, and I didn't even attempt to make the hat, so I don't know how that hat comes out, but it was really quick. I did find one thing in the pattern when I was making it. I did have to shorten the length between the top when on that last round where you are making the crust, you have this decrease and you have an increase, and then there's a line of just single crochets. I did have to shorten my line of single crochets, I think 2, before I increased it again to make it nice and even. But that was just, might have been just a me problem, not a count problem. I didn't really check the count too heavy, but I did notice at that little change that I had to make. So I figured I would note it here for you guys, just in case you fall into the same thing. You might just have to shorten up that top round. All right, number 3 is the Happy Avocado by the Teddy Kingdom, and I love this one. I think this would be perfect for a keychain. I probably, if I did it, would not add the legs if I was making a keychain. But since I didn't make it a keychain and I was just following the pattern, I did add the legs to it. I think this would be really cute if you did it like, you remember the friendship necklaces or bracelets where you have the heart and it splits apart and you get one half and your friend gets the other half? I think it would be really sweet to do 2 avocados, one with the pit, one without, and put them in together so friends could purchase them and split up their avocados, even if they're like on a keychain or something. I think that would just be adorable. You could even add like a little magnet inside there or something so they connected together when you put them together. But that's just a thought. That's not necessarily something I'm going to do, but I thought it would be a cute little idea if you are into making those types of creations for your markets. I think that would be fun. So let me know if you try something like that or if you do something like that. Okay, number 4, you get a twofer on this one. So there's 2 patterns in the one. They are the Moody Fruit by Kendall_crochets. And in the pattern, they have you sew the fruits together like this. But I chose to keep mine separate so that you have 2 options. So you get the Angry Blueberry or the Happy Strawberry, and I had no issues with these guys. There's low sew because you do have to sew the stem onto the strawberry for this one, but the blueberry is no sew. I can see these going quite fast. I feel like a whole bin of blueberries on their own would be really fun, especially I think if I were to go to a blueberry festival or something, that would be really fun to do, is have a ton of these little blueberries, all different moods, and then the strawberries as well. I know a lot of people do strawberry festivals, and so I think the strawberry would be fun to incorporate into a strawberry festival. Pretty quick to make both of those patterns. The blueberry was extremely quick, and I am kind of partial to the blueberry, even though I like to eat strawberries more. So my favorite fruit would probably be a strawberry, but the blueberry was fun to make. All right, the next one, speaking of strawberries, is going to be my chocolate covered strawberry frog by Lilybeth Crochet. And this guy came out, he's a chonker for sure. He actually ended up being easier to make than I expected him to. I thought I was going to have to sew on all of the limbs, but all you have to sew on is the 2 eyes, the stem, and the leaf at the top. And the legs are actually crocheted within the body as you make it. And then of course you add the little detailing afterwards, which is just super quick to do. I chose to do like this really light pink, it almost looks white, but this really light pink frosting for my chocolate. I tried to do like a dark chocolate strawberry. I liked this color better than this color. So obviously this is more of a natural colored strawberry, but I really liked this more of a raspberry colored color for this frog. That's just the color I chose to do. But it was really easy to do. You crochet the limbs first and the eyes first, and then you start from the top and you work your way down. There was one part in the pattern that was confusing to me, where it told you to like crochet the legs on twice around. So I think that was just maybe a technical error in the pattern where they forgot to take the adding of the legs out on the second part of it. And there was also another part within the pattern where it skips around completely, so it might throw off your count when you get to the crocheting all the way around. For 4 rounds, it is 4 rounds, it's I believe 11 to 14, but they skip, I think it's round 9 within the pattern. It goes from round 8 to 10. So they messed up a round count. So it was confusing to me at first, and I had to go back and check the pattern and make sure I wasn't off, and I didn't need to do another round because my round count was off. And then that's when I noticed the technicality where the round count itself was off by 1. So you will be shorter 1 round than the pattern calls for. When you get to the end of that round 11 through 14, you'll actually only have 13 rounds. All right, next up on my list is Harry the Hot Dog by Trish and Treasure _co. And even though this guy turned out really cute and slightly off-centered, but that's on me, not on the pattern. It turned out really cute, but I did find a lot of technical difficulties on this pattern. Even within the first round, I was a little confused throughout this pattern. I was able to figure it out fine on my own and make it, but throughout the pattern, I kept having to kind of question myself whether I was doing it right or not. There was some counts off, and it was a little confusing. So if you are a beginner at crocheting, this might not be a pattern you want to try right off because it was a little confusing. The pattern wasn't perfect, but it turns out adorable if you can, get through those slight technicalities. Would I make this pattern again? Yes, probably. I did have a little bit of trouble reading through the pattern, so I don't want you guys to go into it thinking the pattern is perfect and you can just zoom right through. There is some issues with it that you kind of need to be able to navigate your way through. And if you're a beginner at this, you might have some trouble navigating your way through. So just be prepared if you're going to do this pattern, which is adorable, and I really do love it, that you are prepared to make your own decisions within the pattern that will work for it. Even the bun, I think, was the worst of the whole thing. I don't think I had any issues with the legs or the hot dog portion. It was mostly the bun that was the issue, where I was very confused, even with just that first round, because you start with a chain and you work around the chain and you build it up, and my counts were off. And I think the counts were off because their counts were off. And so it was a little confusing. But if you can work your way through that, then this is a really cute pattern to make. All right, the next one up, 2 more to go, guys, is this Capybara burger by Barry _Bernita _. This guy turned out so much bigger than I expected him to, but he is just pure perfection in my eyes. I love him. I mean, how adorable is this little guy? I did have to take some judgments on my own for this guy as well. So in the pattern, it does say to use safety eyes. Within the materials, it does say, I think, like a 2mm safety eye. But when you look at the pattern, they don't have safety eyes on theirs. They just have like this little slit for an eye. And then they also don't have a muzzle. So in their picture, they have rosy cheeks and a darker brown nose here with the embroidered nose. But within the pattern, they don't explain that. I think they used makeup to do that. I think the rosy cheeks and the darker brown center was actually makeup, and then they just embroidered a nose over. but it doesn't explain that in the pattern. And so I just took my creative judgment and I just crocheted my own little muzzle. I think I just did, so let me try to remember. I think I did 6 single crochet around first, and then I did a single crochet, and then I did a single crochet and increase, a single crochet, 2 half double crochet, single crochet, increase, single crochet, 2 half double crochet to kind of make it more oval on it. And then I sewed that on and I just embroidered the nose onto it the way it looked like in the pattern. And it gave it that little face. And then I just did little slits for the eyes, sewed the ears on where they told me to sew them on the pattern. And then everything else here was just like the pattern told me to do for the burger. And I think it turned out great. It did turn out humongous. I would be very full if I were to eat this size burger, but that face, I really love that face. So just when you get down to the nitty-gritty details, you might struggle slightly unless you just take your creative juices and make it your own. Otherwise, you would have a burger like this with 2 ears that you wouldn't know what to do with. So just be prepared for that. When you get into the details of it, you just kind of have to be a little bit more creative on your own. All right, the last pattern up, I thought this was gonna be much bigger, and I almost didn't do it for this review because I was worried it was gonna be really large. But I am very happy that I did do it for the review because it didn't turn out super big at all. And this is the Strawberry Dragon by Avery Crochets. And it is adorable. I really like how this one turned out. So I did the same colors that she did in the pattern, the light pink with the darker pinkish, red strawberry, and then that green. And there is some sewing involved. So you do have to sew the legs and the wings on. This vine and the strawberries here, these 2 strawberries were crocheted within, and you do have to sew this strawberry on at the tip of the tail as well. This one was definitely a trust the process one because when I was making the pattern, I was like, what is this even turning into? I was a little worried it wasn't going to turn out, especially when I was like, you start from the tail and you work your way up, and then you have this really weird shape happening, and you're just like, what is going on? Once you get to the head, you realize what's happening. But even when I got to the mouth part, I was a little worried because I had this like big old opening here, and I just had to trust the process and go with it, and it came out really adorable. The wings were super simple to do. The only thing I had in the pattern that messed me up for like just a second was it tells you to switch to green, and then I went to flip the page to see what to do with the green, and it went right to the body. And so I thought for a second that the green closing part was actually not even in the pattern, that it was a mistake that hadn't been fixed in the pattern, but it just kind of jumps up to the second half of the page. So you have the writing here, and then you have the green detailing closing right here, and then you have like a box with a picture and some information here. So what I was doing was I was looking at the typing, and then I was looking at the picture, and I was skipping that little section, like right in between the picture and the writing that had that little bit about this part of the wing right there to close it up. So once I slowed myself down and really checked, I was able to find it and to close it up. And I am very happy I made this pattern because I really do like this one. I think I could do more of these and just do embroidered eyes for the next one maybe. maybe even do some different kinds of fruit on this would be fun. But once again, if you have a strawberry festival coming up, this would be a really fun one to do because it's a smaller size. So if you want dragons, but you don't want a huge dragon that's gonna sit there for a while, you want some smaller dragons that are quicker to make, this would be a great one to work up. But yeah, those are all the patterns I did for you guys. Before I continue, I did forget to mention you do have to sew the legs and the hot dog on, and then you sew the little mustard on as well for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below which was your favorite. I think this is the most I've ever put into one of these free pattern reviews for you guys, 8. But that's because some of them were really quick to make. So I was able to make like 3 in one sitting. And so I just kept going and kept making them for you guys. That's everything for today. Let me know if you want some more free pattern inspo, and I can definitely add that to my list of things to do. I am always looking for new patterns to make for you guys. And if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear what you think I should do, either a theme or you have specific patterns you'd like me to try out for you. I can do that. So just, you guys send them my way and let me know. And I will talk to you all on the next one. So if you got all the way through this video, share an emoji of the food item you liked the best that I made, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you all on the next one. So thanks for joining in, and bye.